Hey. Okay, I think we are ready to go. So hey everybody, welcome to the Tide's Wrath Grand Finals. I am Baseskip. This is going to be Mineski against Rilimin. Rilimin coming from the upper bracket. They're going to have a one-game advantage, as you can see at the top of the screen, for this best of 5. Mineski, playing through the lower bracket, have to win 3 games to go home with the grand prize. A reminder, both the second place prize is $500, so the loser of this is at least walking away with money, and overall both teams playing for $500, so the winner gets 1,000 and the loser is going to walk away with 500. Not bad for a couple of days worth of Dota. So yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Again, 2 minutes behind. I followed the link to Mineski TV and I was surprised by what I heard, just to make sure that tab isn't still open. No, okay, everything's good. Okay, so welcome to the game. Rilimin going to start us off with a ban on Keeper of the Light. And
5 seconds
looks like we're ready to go. And Lippy doesn't apparently know geography, but that's okay. That's okay. So Mineski actually dipping into reserve time for this very first ban. Not normally a ban that you sit back and consider, but not sure what's going on here. So yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about while we wait. So I'll just have a quick glance over at chat. Batroid is going to be the ban out for Mineski. They might have been mapping out what's going on with various bans and whatnot, with Nyx and with Magnus and with Lone Druid. We have seen Mineski banning out Lone Druid quite consistently across the course of this tournament. And Rilimin have actually shown a propensity to run some nice push strats. Some Juggernauts, some Chens, some Lone Druids, some fairly aggressive pushes. And with that early Keeper of the Light ban, we might see them try and sort of cheese their way into a game 1 win that way. So we'll have to see.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, I think right now, just considering how things play out, and actually going to choose to ban out the Lone Druid themselves. So Nyx is still there, as is Magnus, as is Darkseer, and Shadow Demon as well has actually been quite a popular pick of late. Some teams have actually been opting to first pick him, so Nyx is going to be the ban for Mineski, not wanting to give that one away. Darkseer and Mag make it through, and Shadow Demon is there as well, which we have seen some teams first pick. Baseskip, are there any jets flying over the skies of Australia? Not that I can see. And yeah, hopefully North Korea and South Korea can keep things at bay until at least we finish this Dota, right? So Lifestealer is actually going to be the first pick for Rilimin. Wouldn't be too surprised to see Shadow Demon at all right now for Mineski. He's always good against Lifestealer. And I think they've just run him to great success over the course of the day, so we're probably going to be seeing that. And wouldn't be too surprised to see something like Mag either here. Though they may be considering taking Mag and Rubik, or maybe just doing something completely off the wall. They have played quite a bit of Dota today, and they do have 3 games ahead. Well, they do have to win at least 3 games out of the next... well, they do have to win 3 games out of the next potentially 4 games. So they're going to take Shadow Demon, but we'll see what the second pickup is going to be. Darkseer definitely not bad against Snakes. Either the potential to just surge people away from open wounds is always great. But they're going to go for the Weaver. Baseskip is actually a South African. Yes, Baseskip is actually a South African. I was born in Johannesburg, but now I live in Australia. So yeah, Weaver's going to be taken here by Mineski. Probably going to be played by the very competent Yanni. One more time. He's done a lot on his Weaver the last few games and has swiftly dealt with some Darkseers and dispatched Tri-Lanes and just shown a really good, I guess, overall comfort with the hero. And what else have we got? Okay, so Magnus is still there, if Rilimin would like to try and get their hands on that. We'll see what their response is going to be to the Weaver. I'm not sure if they've played against it that much over the course of the tournament, but definitely a hero that I think you need to have some overall strategy of dealing with him. Just picking up generic supports and buying anti-invis is not really a reliable counter And I think you really just need a long duration disable and be able to connect it to be able to deal with him. So Magnus does sort of fit that bill, and they managed to grab themselves Rubik as well, who benefits quite a lot from having the Weaver on the enemy team. But it's really going to come down to a question of whether they can actually lock down Weaver and kill him in the early stages of the game. And the big problem with Weaver as well is that just by virtue of having a hero like Weaver on the enemy team, it forces your team to buy anti-invis. And anti-invis, frankly, is quite expensive, especially if you're in a losing position in the game. And with a hero like Weaver, just buying anti-invis isn't a reliable way to kill him. There's still a chance that he could outrange your sentry, he could time-lapse the dust. There's any number of things that Weaver could do to escape. So yeah, we'll have to see. And the bracket, please, is the request. I can link the bracket, but I won't bring it up on screen since I haven't had time to sync it, so it won't be up to date. But hopefully, Tsunamski, that'll be enough for you there. So Queen of Pain's going to be taken by Mineski. They can ban out whatever they want to try and get a fairly good matchup on mid. Rilimin, no clear indications of what lanes are going to be just yet. They could potentially try and go aggressive, but between Shadow Demon and Weaver, it's definitely a difficult lane to try lane into. And it could leave Magnus against someone that he doesn't really want to face on bottom lane or on mid. Mag versus Queen of Pain, there is definitely some kill power going the way of the Magnus, but a lane where the Queen of Pain gets a lot of free reign. So what else is just worth mentioning in terms of overall power level to be banned? Darkseer is still there. Leshrac is going to be banned out by Rilimin. So a combo that Mineski ran extremely successfully last game, just between the Shadow Demon and the Leshrac, will not be available. We might see a Lena ban as well from Rilimin, but they do actually have first pick coming out of this phase, so they might just try and get that, get their hands on that themselves. And okay, so Mineski, what are they probably considering right now? They're just going to go after those mid bans that I mentioned earlier on. So Puck going to be removed from the pool, not going to have that fairly even matchup against the Queen of Pain, and with that, Mineski bump the Queen of Pain's effectiveness up and just that little bit more. It's going to be difficult for Rilimin to try and secure some supports that are going to be able to reliably gank a Queen of Pain if you don't have the additional lockdown from your mid. So yeah. And M-City asks, who's the captain of Mineski? So what country is Rilimin from? I think they're predominantly Australian players. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know all of them personally. But I think the majority of them are Australian. And as far as I know, the captain of Mineski is Jay? Is that right? Joven is currently drafting, but yeah, Jay is the captain. And TA going to be banned out as well by Mineski. So just trying to secure a really good mid matchup for their co-op. Darkseer is going to be banned by Rilimin just by virtue, I think, of overall power level and just how much he gets done in a solo lane. And right now, I think, what are they considering? I think they're trying to maybe get Lena through for themselves. As far as overall lineup is concerned, I'm not sure what they would be thinking. If they ban Lena, they could go for something like Enigma. It's non-standard, but having the lockdown against the Weaver could be invaluable. So I'll have to see. And yeah, Rilimin dipping into reserve time, so I guess questioning as much as I am, and gonna go for the Chen ban in the end. I think a little bit out of place right now, but just looking for something to ban without wasting too much reserve time. And I mean, a null ban does actually serve a purpose. I mean, it can push something through into the pool that you wanted to keep your hands on. Mineski right now, I think the question is whether or not they ban it another strong solo. They could go after the Lena as well, try and get Rilimin into a more awkward position, but no, in the end, going to decide to go for Wisp. And definitely a hero that you do see comboed quite often with Lifestealer, but I think if that was the pick, Mineski could have just aggressively tri-laned into the Nyx, Rubik, and Wisp and done quite well of it, but yeah, we'll have to see. Yes, this is the grand final. Yes, this is the best of 5 grand final. And Lena is going to be taken by Rilimin. So not a huge surprise there. They got the follow-up to the Rubik stun. They get a lot of damage out. It's very reliable because you don't need to wait for the duration of the disruption or anything like that. So it's very, very difficult to screw up, and it does actually give them some good ganking potential against the Queen of Pain. So we shall have to see. Well, we shall have to see how they do. I believe, for anyone who's wondering about Rilimin, I believe the majority of their players used to play under FTFC. For anyone who's familiar with, you know, Famofu and co, but yeah, I think that's the case. I'm not 100% sure, so you guys will have to confirm for me on that one. So Mineski right now just looking for that second support, looking for another farmer, looking for another solo, whatever it's going to be. And in lieu of being able to get their hands on the Lina or the Leshrac, they're going to go for that third spot and just pick up the Jakiro. So they get nice follow-up to the Shadow Demon Disruption. They've got a nice defensive support as well. Rilimin could be looking to go aggressive right now. I think we're going to end up with a tri-lane versus tri-lane, locking horns. Magnus hopefully not going to be matched up against either the Weaver or the Queen of Pain. Neither of those are great matchups for the Mag. And Rilimin, if they get locked into Mortal Kombat in tri versus tri, things could start to go pretty badly. We're going to pick up Clockwork as the last hero. It's probably going to be played by T-Duck, but Clockwork, not a hero that really excels that much in solo versus solo. He's great in solo versus tri, but against Weaver and Queen of Pain, I feel like Rilimin's solos are going to come up short, and that could really be trouble for this game. So yeah, let's see.
10
And
seconds
Mineski, what's the last choice going to be for them? They've got so much flexibility because they could run the Weaver solo, or they can run him in the tri-lane and pick up another solo, or they could pick up someone for their tri-lane. They've got all the options in the world. They can pick up an offlaner as well. And with the Weaver, they've got a lot of flexibility. They've got a lot of solo power, and I really like the pickup. The last couple of games, we've seen Mineski go for Jay's hero at the very end, picking up things like Slardar, DK, Omni Knight, something just a little bit out of left field that sort of ends up really fitting the squad. So we'll see what Mineski go for here. Mineski don't need to win 4 games, they need to win 3 games. And Beastmaster is going to be the choice for Mineski to get even more lockdown on the Nakes, and that's going to be played by Joven. So Jay is going to be playing the Queen of Pain. I guess a bit of a miscall by me. Again, I'm not super familiar with Mineski, so yeah. Exciting stuff. Yeah, everyone except for Varge, aka El Tigre, played for FTFC. That sounds right. Thank you, 3084. Mineski forfeits MPGL for this tournament. No comment on that. Looks like we're just waiting on... Who are we waiting on? We're just waiting on Vandal to pick up his hero right now. So anyway, getting into the game, welcome to the Grand Final, Game 1. There is a little dot up here, but that's because Rilimin are coming in with a 1-game advantage from coming from the upper bracket. And I think, fair enough, they've actually played more games than Mineski have today over the course of the tournament. So on Rilimin, over on Mineski, sorry, we've got Joven playing Beastmaster. We're going to have Jay on Queen of Pain. Yanni is going to be playing Weaver. Oa on Shadow Demon, and that leaves Gio to play Jakiro. Over on the side of Rilimin, we've got Lippy playing Lina. We've got T-Duck playing Clockwork. VDK, or Vandal, is going to be on the Rubik. Hux playing Lifestealer, and Varge is going to be on Magnus. So we'll see how lanes are going to coalesce in just a second. Again, Magnus and Clockwork not necessarily hugely strong in solo versus solo. Beastmaster, I think, on a similar level to those, so that matchup should be fine, one of these two against Beastmaster. But I'm not 100% sure about the other one, which is going to be Queen of Pain against either of these two. And looks like we're going to have some pooled tangos for T-Duck, making his way up towards top, so he has a ton of regen right now. 9 tangos and a salve. Varge is heading towards mid. It's just going to be a straight bottle rush for him. And looks like Rilimin gonna go defensive, but Kux is anticipating an aggressive tri-lane for Mineski, picking up that stout shield. And Vandal actually has a smoke up as well. I guess maybe seeing if they can get some space going to try and get a gank off on the Queen of Pain on mid, and they've got all the other standard consumables going on at the same time. Oa comes down, he's got obs and sentries up. Looks like Jay might actually be farming on the Queen of Pain. He's gone for a straight stats build, so it's not a bottle rush or anything like that. Comes down with the team to start things off on bottom lane, but still not 100% clear what's going to be happening as far as the lane. And Duntotes wants a shout out. I thought you were leaving in 10 minutes and that I was going to have to upload all of the VODs. So I guess I've mentioned your name now. It doesn't count as a shout out. I'll do a shout out and you'll have to watch the VODs to see if I do it. I guess that's cheeky. Guys, I will gladly do the AC thing and read out all of your names at the end of the game, but for now I should probably be focusing on actually talking about what's going on right now. So Mineski come down, they throw down a ward, which is going to block out this pull camp. They get their aggressive tri-lane into position, find a 0-minute invis rune, and get themselves some rune vision going on as well. Sentry ward chucked down by Vandal. He's not going to spot this observer. Going to have to invest the second sentry to try and find the obs. And they're not going to realize that it's blocked until at least 30 seconds, so Rilimin not going to be able to run pulls at least for a little bit. Fat Dog's going to come down, and looks like he's going to body block the camp. I think this Observer Ward is going to block it out regardless. And yeah, Lippy's going to see that the camp is blocked. He's looking for the he's looking for the Observer Ward, but it's not going to be there, and Oa already across getting rid of Rune Vision for Rilimin right now. So Varge off to a rough start at mid. Especially given that he's not going to have any rune control. Well, he's not really going to have rune control against the Queen of Pain, but not having the knowledge of what the rune is makes this mid lane quite a bit more dangerous for him. And already being harassed quite heavily by Jay, who with his very early stats build is off to a pretty good start on mid, getting really early denies out, and just in general harassing down the Magnus. Up on top, it's going to be Beastmaster up against Clockwork. A pretty awkward matchup. They both have good harassment back and forth. I think there's kill potential going either way, but they are both quite tanky, so it's going to be chip damage before we see anything too significant. And down at bot, just tangoing up. Both teams trading blows a little bit. Rilimin have still not been able to find this Observer Ward. However, it appears it hasn't blocked the camp. It's not quite in range, and not quite within the spawn box. So they have been able to get a spawn up, and looks like Vandal's going to just go for some stacks and going to go for some pulls. Looks like the Sentry Ward may have actually blocked out their own pull-through camp, so a bit of a misplacement there from Rilimin. This ward really should be directly behind this tree here, though I'm not sure if that was just body blocked or whether it was blocked by the ward. So it did just pass 2 minutes. I think that would have spawned. So that ward has actually blocked out the camp there. I guess a little bit of a misplay there. Our 2-minute urn is going to be Illusions up on top. Jay grabbing onto that one. He doesn't actually have a bottle, however. And even more dewarding. He's going to remove the second ward, which is giving Rune Vision for Rilimin. And again, this is really tough for Varge on mid. He's going to be bottle crowing pretty much regardless, but just the fear of not knowing what the Queen of Pain has whenever she leaves the lane is definitely going to be tough. T-Duck continues to trade blows with Joven at top, and we might not even see Jay go for a bottle on mid, given that Joven has a bottle and he's just continuously bottle crowing right now. So that might just be the call from Mineski right now, and that's what they're going to do to make sure that Joven has a good time up on top. T-Duck's already blown through quite a bit of his regen, used 6 tangos so far, and meanwhile Joven just going to continuously bottle crow to keep in it. At bot, little bit of interruption going back and forth. The open wound up on Yanni. They're going to put out some damage. The Shikuchi not quite there just yet. The defensive disruption saves him from damage. Nice 2-man ice path. VDK now in a little bit of trouble. Yanni get a chase through. Gets the Shikuchi damage out. Trying to get back into tower and turning around. Gets the hits. There's the stun, but the first blood drawn by Mineski in the end. But 1-for-1 the overall exchange. T-Duck chasing up and around the creeps. But nothing's really going to come of that. Yeah, I will definitely upload the VODs for you, Duntotes, I promise. Basic warding Aussie, okay. So, yeah. Right now, well, pretty even. As far as everything is concerned, looks like Oa is going to go down and camp out the 4-minute rune. Does actually spawn up at top. And Varge, guessing a little bit luckily, manages to find that one for himself. So something going his way on mid lane right now. Isn't actually that far behind compared to Jay at the moment in terms of CS. So El Tigre Varge doing a really good job. The videos are autosave. You are 100% right, and they will all be uploaded to my YouTube after I trim them. Up. Kux wants some farm at bot, but just really playing cautiously right now. Doesn't want to get caught out. There are supports just nearby, waiting in the wings to try and help him out. And both camps now fully available, and Joven comes under tower range, just gets a little bit of his mana burnt away. But then, is it non-stop bottle crowing we've got? Okay, we do now have Jay's bottle, so he's got a bottle up, waiting for it on mid, playing very defensively against Magnus right now, who's just about to reach level 6. This might be a kill if he can just get in range for the reverse. He's got this haste, he's got this skewer, and looks like T-Duck fighting Joven at top. Creep wave going to converge, will reconverge however. So battery assault not going to be doing too much. And Bethesda tutting, I suspect, about what happened on top. I think Joven just waiting around for that bottle. It's just about to fly out. Throws the axes to buy himself some space. And T-Duck, again, starting to run low on regen, really wants to get this kill out before he's forced back to base. He's actually just going to be bottle crowing himself. Lift up into the air. Can they get the follow-up stun? Lippy just a little bit too far away. Yanni going to be fine to escape, and the defensive disruption always available there. For Mineski, and Vandal actually chases out, needs to be careful. There's the disruption, but this time it's Jakiro is a little bit too far out to try and get the follow-up. So both teams, well, the initiators of their lanes go in, but don't really get too much done. Varge comes down, he guesses the 6-minute rune as top, well, as bot, but it's actually top. Double damage waiting up there. And Mineski, in lieu of actually having a 6-minute having a ward up at 6 minutes, they use the courier to scout it out. And yeah, that's actually, I have to say, pretty next level there. Kux is going to rage straight out, but he's actually going on the aggressive with this soul catcher on him. Support's ready to go. And yes, the scoreboard is wrong. It is the first game, but Rilimin actually have a 1-game advantage. So yeah, Bethesda is more non, apparently. And Joven wants to walk back into the creep wave. T-Duck still chasing through. I mean, the creep's just soaking up all of that battery assault damage. Not going to be able to get too much done. Why advantage to Rilimin? Because they came from the upper bracket. Is why they have an advantage. And Geo in a bit of trouble. There is a defensive disruption, however, and Kux hasn't blown rage just yet. Dual breath, turn around. Will the stun connect? The nuke will, but Geo still on the way out. Now the Beatles. Varge comes in. He's got reverse ready to go. Gets disrupted, however, but Oa is going to go down. Yanni now chasing after VDK. Gets back into tower range. Survives because of stick charges. And Varge wants his kill, doesn't actually have enough to reverse, but Lippy comes in, doesn't connect the stun. There is a dust, there's a lift, there's a reverse as well. Are they going to be forced to use it? They won't. And Rilimin 4 for 1 so far, with a very nicely timed TP, I believe, to bot. Live Varge to turn those things around. Meanwhile, on top, T-Duck gets a solo kill off on Joven. Jay comes in to try and kill him, but just able to TP straight out. So 2 kills on bot for Rilimin and a kill on top. Solo kill picked up by T-Duck, and now with his arcane boots in tow, pretty much going to be non-stop ganking from this point forward. Doesn't really get too much out of farming, and Kux walks in, gets the infest damage down, lift up into the air on Yanni. Fade Bolt doing some good damage. The nuke and the right click will finish him off. I think Shikuchi was up. Or maybe just not quite. VDK is going to chase past. They do have an open wounds ready to go. There's a disruption. Varge is here. Nice 2-man ice path. Gonna keep everything fairly safe. Invis on Jay, walking his way down, and probably just gonna try and get in position for a sonic wave. Oh, Vandal. Oh, I think you're in trouble. Though we'll see. Depending on how ballsy he's feeling, Jay is just walking straight past. He's closing the gap a little bit on the Rubik, but I don't think he's going to chase far enough out, and just going to go straight for Libby. Sonic Wave and pick up that kill. So, not an enormous kill as far as kills are concerned in this game, but still something. for Jay. Meanwhile, at top, T-Duck now up to level 9, while Joven's sitting down at level 8, and T-Duck, I think, sort of in control of this lane at this point. Joven just doing his best to continue spamming down the creep wave so that he's always got creeps in case of battery assault, but T-Duck just looking for the smallest opportunity to hookshot in and cogs and battery and just get that kill. So as you can see, Joven playing quite defensively while his bottle heads back to base and wants to make sure that he's that he's topped off if he's getting anywhere near the clockwork right now. Vandal makes his way up towards top. Solo smoke for him. We've got Oa just off to the side considering something. TP up from Jay, but it's 2-on-2 so far. The hook shot in. They bounce him across. Bit of a weird interaction there. Axes fly. Vandal in trouble. He's going to drop. There's the roar. T-Duck more than likely going to go down here. Has some stick charges. Can't really turn around for this kill. Ice Path. Dodge. Still alive. Still healing, but the sun. Well, just the scream of pain. I'm going to finish him off. Joven maybe. Well, could have been a little bit of trouble there. And Varge and Lippy come in and just burst down Jay. Reverse polarity and just nukes blown there, I believe. So, nicely played there. Yanni just trading blows with Kux at bot. Looks like he's just working his way straight towards an armlet right now. And actually fairly difficult for the Weaver to harass between multiple points in Feast, a Helm of Iron Will, and that Stout Shield. It means that he can actually just trade blows, regen off the creeps, and not be too concerned about the Geminate attack harass. So Nake's actually a pretty good matchup 1v1 against the Weaver right now, and Weaver only down at level 5 while Nake's sitting happily up at level 8. So Kux doing quite well. Bard's going to push in on mid. 1.2k gold up in the bank for him, working towards that Blink Dagger. I'll switch it over to net worth since we're past 10 minutes, and we're probably going to start to see towers falling fairly soon. Jay comes in on mid. He's got his treads finished up as a support. Oh, just hiding in the trees, ready to try and go for this. He walks out. There's going to be disruption. Ice Path to follow up. Lippy's coming in to try and make some space. Varge going to try and skewer out. But the only thing that skewers is his corpse as he gets hit by Sonic Wave. T-Duck comes in. Stun not going to connect on anything. Hookshot ready to go, but there's 3 here, and only 2 from him. Yanni lifts up into the air, in a little bit of trouble. Open wounds up. Shikuchiing himself around. Dust is going to pop, and Shikuchi just about to wear off. Kux going to give up the chase. However, so Mineski bringing things back to even, only 1 kill in it right now. 1k the experience lead, and a mere 200 in terms of gold. And that's still without a single tower falling just yet. So both teams just hunting, and Jay spots his prey, finds Lippy. He's going to go for a couple of jukes. TP support coming in. He does have a stun ready to go, and here is Varge. Almost has reverse polarity. Jay wants to finish this one off. Lippy just hiding in the trees. The scream not actually going to connect through. Unfortunate for Jay. And it looks like Lippy might actually be fine to escape. That was very, very close. And Jay, he's not done. He's giving chase. The stun, however, will connect. But Jay, this time around, finds the kill. Meanwhile, at bot, actually, well, where's the interest? Varge threatens the reverse. Doesn't actually throw it out with the blink away. Out pops Kux. There's a roar ready to go, however. And Soul Catcher going to finish him off. In comes T-Duck. The man of the hour. Yanni healing up a little bit, but looks like it might just be a double here for T-Duck. Yanni, a few more seconds left on the Shikuchi. T-Duck, he's hunting. He's got the rocket. It's gonna connect. Nicely played. Double kill for T-Duck there. These predictive skills from the T-Duck clockwork. And oh yeah, Mineski have a really cool banner going on mid, definitely. And that is a bit of a cheer going out from the GG net. Person Vandal dropping low. One more right click going to bring him down, but Joven going to drop as well. Jay still in the middle of this fight. Varge turns around, and in comes Lippy. Throws out the Laguna Blade, but it's not quite enough. The stun, however, does connect on the very edge. Defensive disruption from Oa. Going to keep Jay alive. Blink out. There's the Ice Path. Lippy wants to finish this one off. He's got another Light Strike Array. T-Duck, can he connect the rocket? Looks like not quite enough to finish, but now Geo in trouble. Kux still chasing past the tower, but now going to think better of it. Stun will not connect. Lippy fairly low on life. Yanni now giving chase. Varge, he's got to skewer away, but in comes Jay. Finishes off that kill. Lifted up into the air. However, bad coordination from Rilimin. Jay will drop regardless, but the stun will not connect because the telekinesis threw him out of range. Geo still off to the side. Oh, and now the target gets the defensive disruption up. Yanni just chasing away Kux. And looks like that might be it, but Joven has actually rejoined the fight. And at the end, after all of that, it's still a 1 kill difference in favor of Mineski. Both teams trading and trading and trading and trading. So it's going to be nothing as far as experience is concerned, pretty much about 200 in it. And gold, about a 1k lead in favor of Mineski right now, though I think some of that owing to the fact that they got the later kills. T-Duck's going to hookshot straight in, kills off one, and now looking towards Joven. Vandal is chasing, but he's just a little bit too slow to actually close this gap. I think he'd like a steal. That's what he's going for right now. In comes Jay. Actually steals Sting instead of Blink. Axes fly. Vandal survives on barely anything because of wand charges, but not quite enough to keep him up. Varge now in trouble. Roar thrown out. T-Duck comes in. Is he going to be able to get this done? Bounces both of them away with the cogs. Nicely played. And gets Varge back to safety. Only 6 seconds away from the next reverse. And at the end of the day, Mineski still only lead by 1 kill. Orchid, the target for Jay right now. Yanni not having as great a game as we saw against D4D, or as we saw against Anivia, as well, just working his way towards his drum, but 4 deaths to his name already. Has been stalled up quite a bit by Rilimin, so good job by them. Varge still, well, actually a ways away from his Blink Dagger. Was there a buyback thrown by him somewhere? I suspect it might have just been deaths. They've got a smoke in towards mid. They need the lift, but the blink away from Jay. Vandal not quite able to get in range for that one. And unfortunate for him. Jay was just in a really good position on the hill, right as the supports revealed themselves from smoke. So there could have been some fogging. There could have been all sorts of things. Vandal's going to be able to get his hands on blink. There's a lot of survivability spells for him in this game between Shikuchi and Blink. Cuck's still farming away. Bot has his drum finished up, now working his way towards an armlet. And supports going to go for a smoke of their own, joining Jay as he tries to find the 16-minute rune. It's actually an illusion spawning up at top. And Vandal, they spot Jay, they get the lift, they get the stun, they're going to get the Laguna. Jay might just drop. There's no defensive disruption from I didn't expect the burst damage to be there. Throws out the Demonic Purge, but Cuck's still chasing, still slowed down. Dual Breath, no Ice Path right now, and Cuck's now out of the slow, gets disrupted. Varge comes in, gets the Skewer, gets the Shockwave. It's not quite enough to finish. There's the Ice Path. Varge just going to walk into it, hook shot. Just misses, I think. No, looks like T-Duck jumped straight on top of Yanni. Meanwhile, looks like Gia is going to be fine to get out. T-Duck still chasing after the Weaver. He doesn't have any mana left. Now has the Shikuchi, but Rocket Flare finishes him off. Yeah, that was a very nice Shockwave, as Bethesda said. Varge comes in. He skewers over to here. He throws a Shockwave. I think he skewered over to here, but he throws a Shockwave all the way down. Can I draw that? Yep. All the way down. Just clips the Shadow Demon on the way out. And at the end of that exchange, Rilimin now up by 2 kills. Illusions apply a bit of pressure on mid. Jay set back further from his Orchid right now. And Fortification's going to pop for mid. Varge still has this reverse polarity ready to go. And Joven's going to reveal himself as he walks down towards bot. Mech in tow. And almost the mech finished up for T-Duck. I think that's flying out right now. So very similar situation for both of these top laners. And both of them getting a lot done in this game in their own ways. But T-Duck doing fantastically, 6 for 2 for 1 at the moment. And Nakes has died once. This is true. And T-Duck sniping some hawks with Rocket Flare. Just a day at the office for him. Varge considering maybe the reverse. Slippy is actually just off to the side. They've got the Laguna Blade ready to go as well, but Jay playing pretty defensively. Yanni's actually going to head up towards top. He's finished up his drum. Oh, the stun actually connects on Jay. Is there going to be a reverse? There's the skewer. There's the reverse. At the very edge of a haste rune, Jay will drop, and extreme patience from Lippy. Nicely connected stun with no setup there. And now a 3-kill lead for Rilimin. Pushing out a bit of an experience lead as well, 3k there, and about a 250 gold lead. So, Oa gets the disruption off. But Cox just jumps straight in with the Infest, blink through by Vandal, and now Joven in a little bit of trouble. He's going to throw out the Roar, going to try and TP himself out, but the Stolen Roar cast back on him. Shockwave almost finishes him up. He's still alive for now. T-Duck with the hook in. There's still haste up on Varge. Might try and get around for the Skewer. Ice Path just barely misses. There's the Shockwave, still giving chase. Dual Breath will give him pause, but T-Duck still just chasing through, gets disrupted up, but there's the open wounds. Cox wants this kill. There's no mana left. And now Geo, the target, T-Duck right on top of him. Trying to cast something, but not going to be able to do so. T-Duck cutting off the avenue escape. Yanni comes in, but actually gets burned. Fairly low on mana. Now Jay chasing through, but they do need to be careful. It's 4 on 2 at this bottom lane. Jay just off to the side. He's got Sonic Wave ready to go, but T-Duck actually fairly tanky. The mech off cooldown as well, so deceptively survivable. And yeah, Mineski now down by 6. Jay looks like he's going to head back to try and get a little bit of farm going. And Vandal very happily waiting for that Primal Roar to cool down. Nice steal from him in that fight. And looks like Rilimin just going to keep the push going. Cuck's empowered up. He's got his armlet finished. Yanni comes down to defend, as does Joven. Axes are going to buy them a little bit of space. Support's moving in as well, as they actually give the farming space to Jay. And Lippy's going to come in just to try and put a bit of a thorn in his side right now. But Mineski, they're sitting right on top of a Radiant Ward right now. They're sort of in position as if they were going to go for smoke. Jay makes his way down and around, picks up an Invis. He's got a second Oblivion Staff finished. So despite death, still flash farming quite well, and still has a ton of hero kills too. So almost as that Orchid, he's going to spot Lippy. He might just go straight for this kill. They ping it out. Everyone else is coming across. Lippy doesn't know how close he's dancing with death. He's actually going to make the decision to go back to the tower, and it might be one that saves his life. Just sitting in the trees right now. Vandal walks across. He's actually got Primal Roar. Jay needs to be careful about this one. And T-Duck making his way around as well. T-Duck is a professional hawk puncher, if anyone was wondering. So killing off. Well, I'll try and keep a tally, but I think that's his second hawk of the game. E&X making the accusation that it feels like somebody knows the whole map. I promise that I've got 2 minutes of delay on my stream, and at least I hope I do. And I wouldn't reveal any secrets. I've got no favorites in this game. All I want is good Dota, and that's sort of what we're getting. All right, now Rubik's got that Roar off cooldown, but he doesn't have it for very much longer. So I think the call is going to be, let's get this thing on cooldown as quickly as possible. I'm going to straight out Roar Jay if I see him. And that's what's going to happen. He's going to walk straight in. There's the Roar. Open wound's not really needed, but Cox with the omelet. There's the lift. And Jay going to go down. Vandal just loses that Roar as he casts it. So perfect timing for him. I guess less than perfect timing for Jay. And now Rilimin going to be able to get some pushing done out of this. T-Duck split pushing on top, working his way towards an Ags. A very similar inventory situation for Joven at the moment as well. Cucks straight on to the tier 2, and Oa and Geo just off to the side, looking pretty grim. It's not looking grim too, not looking grim so far. Varge comes in, goes to the Blink Skewer, doesn't actually find anyone. We've got Yanni making his way up and around as well. It's 3 in from the side, up against 4. Jay is just about to respawn, and Fortification will pop. Vandal manages to grab onto Shikuchi. Ice Path not connecting on anything there, and now Joven makes his way across as T-Duck rotates around, opening up that angle for the hook shot, and another Hawk dead. But this one not for T-Duck, so it won't add to the tally. VDK does actually have Shikuchi to try and escape if things go south, but stands his ground for now. Axes are going to fly up, but looks like Rilimin more than happy just to slow roll this. Jay really wants to finish off that Orchid. And Mineski with showing Jay on mid, it shows that they're not actually going to defend this one. So Rilimin are going to go straight in and get rid of the tier 2. So the trade for Mineski is that they get the Orchid finished on Jay, but they lose a tower, they lose a little bit more map presence. And hopefully the investment will pay off with Jay finally finishing that one up. So Yanni has his drum finished, 2.1k gold in the bank. Still just farming away. The Mineski side, I mean, managing to keep the gold surprisingly close given that they've only taken 1 tower so far and lost 3. But Rilimin, feeling that they're in the advantageous position, and rightfully so, they're just going to go for the 5-man pushes and dare Mineski to try and turn this around. The Orchid on Jay might be the deciding factor if he silences Varge when he jumps in aggressively. A silence on the Magnus would be absolutely devastating if he thought that he could get the initiation off, but there is quite a bit to back him up at this point, so Mineski needs to be absolutely perfect. VDK going to be able to get the steal off on the blink, so even better mobility for him. Cuck straight onto the tower, Ice Path, just creating space but not really getting too much done. And Mineski just stalling. This time the trade is for Yanni to get a tier 1 tower at bot, and T-Duck just going to be forced to rocket up at top. Rocket up at top to try and get that pushing in the opposite direction. So this time around, Mineski, I think picking the fight correctly, but Vandal's going to jump in straight on top of Jove, and there's the open wounds. He's going to throw out the roar on Cux, and in jumps Varge. He's immediately sounded over, nicely played by Jay. This is what I was talking about. And Joven's still on the way out, but there's a nice defensive disruption to keep him alive. However, Oa in trouble. Stun will connect on him. Fadebolt finishes him off. Lippy off to the side. 2 dead so far. And Cuck's able to finish off the Beastmaster. Now a 10-kill lead. And despite a fantastic silence, from Jay, fight still goes well. Cuck somehow dies. I think he toggled Omelet off and died to something there. I don't think it was the tower, but yeah, died to something just off camera. Sorry about that one, guys. But yeah, Rilimin, pretty good fight. Mineski, no buybacks or anything invested. Hopefully would have noticed if they had. And Vandal with the stolen roar again. Didn't notice that in the fight. I guess my eye's not as peeled as they should be, but nicely done by him, and he's going to have that off cooldown again. So probably a similar story to what we saw last time. And Fortification will pop on mid. Jay wants the free tower, but not going to be able to get it. And Varge just waiting. I think they're just waiting on Vandal to have this, just to have this Primal Roar ready to go. And TP towards mid. And Jay, I think it might be a very similar story for him once this happens. So it looks like we're actually just going to walk it out. TP in from Cux. Everybody sort of in fighting positions. Yanni off, just getting a little bit of farm going. 3.4k gold up in the bank for him. I would suspect still just working towards that Lincoln Sphere. It has been the choice for him over the last couple of games. Lots of dewarding happening for Mineski. Map vision, at least as far as that's concerned, very heavily in their favor. Rilimin actually playing with no wards right now, so a little bit blind as a little bit blind as to the position of Mineski right now. And Rilimin come in, but Jay, they've sort of laid a trap. However, T-Doc hooks on to Geo. He's not going to be able to cast anything because of the battery cell. Does get something out with his dying breath. Jay, he's already been roared, he's already been polarity, and he is already dead. Laguna Blade even held on to for that one. And Vandal I think there was a roar, saw it in the buff bar. And then reverse polarity thrown out on top just to make sure that the Queen of Pain dies. And we've got Oa off to the side, but the infest up into Vandal. Now the jump out with the blink. Nicely played. Yeah, really nicely played there by Rilimin. Get another kill, and now just this train don't stop. It's going up onto the high ground. Joven's going to try and stall this a little bit. Yeah, really nicely played so far from Rilimin, and this might be Iraq's. Weaver's going to buy up a BKB. Going to be able to pick that one up. Fortification will pop. Ice Path just barely connecting on Varge there. There isn't a reverse polarity ready to go, so we might see them stall this out a little bit. Desolator up on Nakes, making very quick work of the tower and just dodging around the side of that Ice Path right now. Yanni comes in, they throw out some harassment. Everybody has now respawned. Sonic Wave ready to go on Jay. Both teams posturing. T-Duck just reveals himself for a second. There is a roar ready to go. And Joven's closing the gap. Jay comes in. There's a silence, but Varge ready to back up. Everybody else is actually just waiting on top of the high ground. And there's the roar, but there's the steal on Axes. Nicely played there. And Yanni now in the middle of this with his BKB. T-Duck stuck. Jay jumps in. Sonic Wave. Nice hook shot. Laguna Blade connect as well. They're going to be able to bring down Jay, but it's 2 for 1 so far. Everybody chasing at the other side of the fight. Oa dropping low. Cuck's now stuck in the macro pyre. Going to turn around, just try and grab a little bit of health, but will drop. And now Vandal with no mobility skill. Going to try and steal the Shikuchi and escape, getting out of range of the Sentry Ward. Nicely played. Has his Blink Dagger purchased up as well. Looks like he's going to be fine to get out. But overall, a very good fight for Mineski. And really nicely played by Joven, covering his roar there with an immediate set of axes so that Vandal couldn't get the steal off. He goes for the deny, not going to be able to get it. Still feeling pretty confident with his Shikuchi, but the last minute or so looking pretty good for Mineski, despite more deaths on Jay. He's just really getting focused down every single fight. It's about a 10k gold lead in favor of Rilimin right now, and about a 15k experience lead. And so Mineski, the fact that the fights have been as even as they are is really a testament just to their player skill and, you know, their individual decision making and their decision making as a team. I mean, with graphs that look like this, the game, you'd expect it to feel a lot more imbalanced, but I mean, there's still that sense that Mineski definitely have a game plan. They've still got a way back into this game, and they're just working on that as best they possibly can. Jay right now working his way towards, I think, a BKB of his own, just so he stops getting locked down, just so he stops getting Laguna Bladed, and just so he can actually jump into the middle of the fights and be really aggressive. Varge, love the choice. He buys an outright BKB with his gold. Looks like that's one's going to fly out right now. So no battling with the silences. Well, no battling with the Orchid anymore, which is always going to be nice to have. There is still the potential that he gets roared, but a roar on the Magnus is a roar that isn't going on the Nakes. And that's not a bad, well, that's a great thing for the Nakes, since it just means that he can do whatever he wants, aside from potentially the Demonic Purge. And Orchid as well is actually a real pain for Lifestealer. If he can't rage, then he's really, really in difficulty. Okay, so it's a, yeah, everyone in chat has sort of got it explained, so I'll leave you guys to it. So the way that it works is, just think about it like this. Rilimin needs to win 2 games to win. Mineski needs to win 3 games to win. It's a best of 5, but Rilimin have started with a 1-game advantage. So, yeah. And Varge is just continually farming away. Graphs are pushing back in Mineski's favor, so being a little bit more efficient on the map. Yeah, being a little bit more efficient on the map as far as farm is concerned. Just frankly getting more out of it, I guess. T-Duck has his Aghanim Scepter finished up, level 17 as well, and Jay gets caught out by Cucks and Vandal, and it's enough to bring him down. Looks like it was just an infest in the Rubik, and the Rubik had Blink, and that was enough, but nicely played by Rilimin, and they're really putting paid to Jay on his Queen of Pain. Can't really roam autonomously, can't really get too much farm going. So yeah. And yep, looks like Rilimin is going to go straight into the Roshan pit. Jay has buyback, but he would really love not to use it. So we'll see if Mineski are this time willing to trade away Roshan. They're going to come in to try and stall as best they can, throw out some bugs. And that looks like it might be enough to drive them back. Only a few seconds until the respawn, but T-Duck jumps straight on top of Geo. The lift, the skewer as well, over the top on Oa. He's going to drop in just one more right click, gets a defensive disruption up on himself, but down he goes, and that's the both supports dead. And Rilimin ready to go straight up onto the high ground and finish what they started by taking this tier 3. Supports not too far away, fortification not available however, and Cucks straight onto the racks. Reverse polarity going to connect on Jay. Where's the chain stun? There's the nukes, there's the second stun. The Laguna Blade finishes him up as well. So much hate going the Queen of Pain's way, and Yanni going to get bounced across despite his BKB, now completely out of mana, forced to time-lapse back, but actually time-lapses back into the cogs a second time. Unfortunate for him. And Jay this time forced to blow the buyback just to be able to hold on to this Rax. TPs now coming out. Cucks is fairly low. Varge turning himself around, but Jay wants his kill. Lift up into the air. VDK still feeling comfortable about his survivability with that blink. Defensive disruption goes up. T-Duck considers throwing the hook, doesn't throw it just yet. Holds onto it, grabs on to Jay, and now Joven in a bit of trouble. Nice Ice Path splits the team fight down the middle, and now Yanni chasing after T-Duck. He does have another hook shot up in just a second. Needs to try and hook to Varge. Force staffed out. There's still an infested Nakes. There's a blink ready to go on VDK. Mechs are popping. Roar is going to connect on T-Duck. Can he get the hook shot? No, not quite. Nicely played. Lippy man fighting the Beastmaster right now. The Stolen Roar now turned back on his face. Kux still fighting, is going to get hit by the Ice Path. Is there going to be a toggle? There's the toggle. There's an open wound as well. Not going to be able to go for that. And Joven's still running. He's still juking. He jukes into the trees, goes to the TP out, and not going to be able to make it almost. Varge gets slid by the Force Staff and able to finish up that kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So, nice little team fight, but I think Mineski overextend a little bit into just mass mobility from Rilimin. There was a blinking Rubik escaping, there's a very fast Magnus escaping, and just the Infest from the Nakes keeping him alive the whole time. And now forced to try and defend without the Weaver, without Beastmaster. They do have Fortification up, so they're going to be able to pop that one. The Macropire buying him some space, and Kux silenced Reverse Polarity. This time thrown on Jay, Defensive Disruption going to buy him some time, however, and Kux still has the Soul Catcher up. Jay's going to drop, just bursted down as that Disruption ends. Geo in trouble. Kux will drop. Varge with a double kill. In comes Yanni. Throws out the Beetles. Can they get some kills in retaliation? BDK actually has Sonic Wave stolen, doesn't want to have to steal Shikuchi to be able to get out, so just going to TP right now. And Rilimin, after all of the fighting, after all the dust is settled, are now up at twice of Mineski's kills. They're up over 15k experience in the lead, heading towards 20k, and about 10k gold as well. But despite this, Mineski's still fighting, still holding on, but it's looking pretty grim for them. Unfortunately, because they have to win 3 games, if they lose this game, then Rilimin have to win 1, while Mineski have to win 3, which is a really tall order for Mineski. So I think they're just going to try and hold on to this as long as they possibly can. They head into the Roshan pit, but it's not going to be very quick, and Kux will respawn and TP out very, very shortly. And no, I think Rosh has had decorations on his model for a while now. Mineski, go for a smoke. Yeah, I agree with Noshiza. I think they've been there forever.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Mineski. Oh, this is the smoke. Can they get this done? Rilimin, they're waiting up on the high ground. There's a Reverse Polarity ready to go. The Hawk giving some vision. Now revealed from smoke. Going to be bursted down immediately. Blink backwards. From VDK, he's still got Sonic Wave ready to go, along with that Force Staff to get into position. Jay off to the side. He knows how much hate goes his way in these fights. He needs to be careful. And Kux, now with a Desolate, well, still has that, he's had that Desolator for a while, blah 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 blah, but has a Hyperstone picked up as well, so probably working towards an AC next, just for mass minus armor, make him the absolute building destroyer. They get the lift up into the air, the Sonic Wave connects on Jay as well. There's the hook shot. This timing from Rilimin is just absolutely perfect. I mean, the lift across, T-Duck finds his target, gets the hook stun, no escape for Jay. And does he actually have any more of his BKB components up? He does not. He's been forced to buy back. And he just, I mean, he's been on the receiving end of all of the hate from Rilimin right now, locking him down in every single fight. And I mean, the only one with really any kills on Mineski as well, so definitely worth targeting. But yeah, Vandal, MVP so far in this game. Ice Path gonna head into the Roshan pit, but Rosh is already gone. Aegis already up on Kux, and I think this is gonna be the last push out. T-Duck finds the hook shot onto Joven. He's now in trouble, does have a mech, but gets stunned up. He's gonna drop, and T-Duck in just a few more seconds gonna have that next hookshot up as well. Rilimin on the front foot, just connecting hookshot after hookshot after hookshot, and just keeping themselves in an advantageous position. T-Duck and Vandal really doing work this game, and Rilimin really want that extra 500 bucks. And they're only one game, well, after they win this one, they're only one game away. There's an Infest, they jump on Yanni, they burst him down. The hookshot just too strong. Vandal not able to get his hands on Ice Path. He's got a Force Staff ready to slide in. Grabs onto the creeps. Jay jumps in. He's got a silence. It's actually thrown out on Rubik. And now Varge threatens the reverse. He's still got BKB ready to go. Mech's gonna pop from T-Duck. Kux in the back of the fight. Defensive disruption buys Geo a bit of time, but Varge ready to go with the skewer. Lippy with the stun. Geo drops 2 alive on Mineski, and Jay and Oa forced back. Lippy gets hit, but oh, reverse polarity. Reverse polarity and hookshot are gonna wipe out, absolutely wipe out Jay. Jovan's gonna come out, but GG Go Next is gonna be called, and Rilimin now find themselves at 2-0 in the overall standings with 1 game to win, to go home with everything. Mineski, an uphill battle to try and take 3 games. Does have to be 3 games in a row now. If they drop a single one, they're done. So unfortunate for them. If they do lose the next game, if they do lose one more game, they are going home with at least $500. So not a bad consolation prize by any stretch of the imagination there. T-Duck still just hooking like a madman right now. And Yanni, despite the BKB, those cogs just being an absolute pain to him. And looks like we've just got a little bit of fighting happening to end the game. The supports are pretty disconnected, so they're going to be fodder. And the Ancient now under attack. And yeah, so Jay got caught out a lot by solo RP in this game. And Rilimin just laying hate on him the whole game long. So this is not the end, Gav MLA. We've still got at least 1 more game, and potentially 3 more. So stay tuned, guys. I've been Basecape. This is Tide's Wrath. If you guys have any feedback for me as far as my casting is concerned, I'd love to hear from you in chat. But otherwise, I will see you in the next game within the next couple of minutes.